Right now, we are following developing news of a logging accident that killed a man at a construction site.
43-year-old Lloyd Leake died when a tree hit him while he was clearing a power line trail.
ABC News is tracking new developments in the case of a man killed in a logging accident in Bear Valley Springs.
As you know, Zach, I'm Armando Garcia, CEO of Pax Automation, an innovative tech company that will change how the world views the logging industry. And while we were talking and brainstorming about this company, we found that the logging jobs are considered to have some of the most hazardous conditions in any workforce. In fact, the Bureau of Labor Statistics has shown that fatality rates among loggers are 40% higher than the average worker. The rate is sadly increasing, and that data is only representative of the United States. The fatality rate sheds light on an alarming trend showing excessive risk of mortality, exposing the need to prioritize our research and intervention for occupational safety in the logging industry. Our company's solution is an autonomous vehicle system that integrates with existing client hardware. In addition, by adding our autonomous system to a company's fleet, we can eliminate occupational hazards and recover vital resources that are otherwise wasted due to human error during operation. We'll offer maintenance contracts to our clients and system licenses that allow autonomous operation of equipment for different levels of automation and service types. So what does this all mean? To go into a deeper dive into our technology, we'll hear from our founder and SVP for Research and Development, Benjamin Pax.
Hello, and next I'd like to talk about how our technology works. In general, we have base level systems, or level 1 through 3, where we have a logging truck, which consists primarily of GNSS antenna as well as computer, which connects to the network, and then has a camera, in some cases pointed at the operator. Looking at our first system, an efficiency system, the dispatch system, we determine whether our logging truck comes in, its distance between different logging sites, the time in the queue, as well as the number of logging trucks in the queue, and then we use a machine learning algorithm to determine where it needs to go to minimize waste and fuel loss. Our LCAS system is a collision avoidance system that uses two position fixes to draw a line between it and then get the heading of the vehicle by drawing a perpendicular line between that line. And then we determine whether or not vehicles are on a collision course or not over the network. And if they are on a collision course, we make sure to halt and emergency stop those vehicles for safety. Next, we have our log alert system, which is a camera pointed at the operator and determines their alertness. If they are alert, they're allowed to continue, and if not, we halt operations. Next, we have our semi and fully autonomous at level 4 and level 5 systems, which are a similar platform. And these are similar to the other one, except that they have a high precision RTK fix in addition to their network communication, and they can also be put on a feller or logging system. So, looking at our autonomous haulage system, we have a vehicle that comes in, uses our dispatch algorithm to determine where it needs to go. Once it makes that decision, it goes there for loading, and once it's loaded, it goes to a sawmill or loading dump site, and then it gets back in line and does it again, with no operator required. Then we have finally our ProVision system, which consists of a feller that comes in and uses computer vision and GNSS position and surveys to determine which areas need to be logged and which ones need to be avoided to avoid damaging young trees or trees that aren't suitable for harvesting as a productivity tool.
So why don't you explain to us a little bit how our financials will work and how we will actually pull this project off?
Absolutely. So first, revenue streams are envisioned to come from 3 preliminary pillars. The first one is sale of hardware, second is service agreements, and the third is software licensing. Sale of hardware in order to incentivize growth in our customers to purchase the system with minimal risk is planned to be sold at cost to help accelerate that growth. Next, for a newly launched dispatch system, this will be broken down into $30,000 per system, with $15,000 of the cost attributed to hardware, and the remaining $15,000 is to pay for the service engineer. So an installation of hardware at the site with a conservative estimate of 10 vehicles would be around a net revenue of $300,000, and $150,000 of the cost would be going to hardware. $150,000 would be to send service engineer to the customer site, and it would be over the span of 1 week to install the fleet and to install a central dispatch control system.
Logging is one of the most dangerous occupations in the United States. Not only are workers exposed to hazardous tools and equipment, but the weight and momentum of falling, rolling, or sliding timber poses a threat that is impossible to mitigate. These threats are made even more hazardous due to dangerous environmental conditions such as uneven terrain, inclement weather, and remote work sites far from health facilities. Additionally, without the technology innovated at Pax Automation, logging will not only be deadly to its workforce, but it will continue to be a driving contributor to increased carbon in our atmosphere. This is because current technologies ignore the amount of carbon which can be stored within select timber before it is felled. Pax Automation technology never selects or fells timber deemed critical in our fight against climate change. Pax Automation will bring millions of dollars in economic impact to Tucson and Southern Arizona through high-paying jobs and direct community investment. We see Tucson as a hotbed for talent, and we believe that it is the perfect place for Pax Automation to lay a strong foundation for future growth. At Pax Automation, we have made it our mission to create the world we deserve. So whether you're finally finishing up that project your significant other has been nagging you about for over a year now, or you're beginning to procure the resources needed to construct your dream home, you can be confident that any timber sourced using Pax Automation technologies has been sourced safely and sustainably.